Welcome to Episode 2 of Conservation Easements in Frederick County, Landowner Testimonials. In this episode, we will hear from Frederick County residents who have chosen to place conservation easements on their property. They will tell us about their property, why they think easements are important, what some common misconceptions may be, and what advice they have for people who may be interested in protecting their own property from development. So stay tuned as we learn from these important individuals.
The one thing they're not making more of is land. And so this is an area that I love to hunt and fish and watch the wildlife, all our kids do. So we're doing them a favor and future generations of having the foresight to, well, let's protect this, let's set this aside. It's easy with all development in the region to see dollar signs, but that's not going to buy you the ability to come out here and see the osprey or the bald eagles fly over or the geese fly in or the deer playing in the field every night.
My parents bought this land about now almost 50 years ago. They were retiring from the military and they lived all over the country and out of the country, and they couldn't decide exactly where to go and live, but they knew they wanted land, they wanted horses, maybe cows, turf, and they saw this and they knew they were here.
Well, actually, I used to hunt this and other adjoining properties that were all owned by the same person at the time, Ray Berthrong. And Ray Berthrong and my dad fought together in World War II. So, you know, when Ray sold out, I said, I'd love to own a piece of this. And he said, well, I'll sell you this 27 acres here along the creek. And I said, amen.
I guess I don't have a lot of faith in the fact that people will conserve if it's just left up to anyone to decide. So I think beautiful places like this really do need to be saved, and they need to be kept in perpetuity. So I like the planning process that cities have and counties have, but I prefer that I had control over saving this property or keeping it for all time.
There's a lot of strong feeling in many areas about property rights, and I have strong feelings about my rights on a property too, but I gave away some of those rights in order to preserve this area for the future. Right. And I think that everybody needs to realize that they need to work together for conservation, and it's not just the tree huggers. Right. Conservation takes care of everybody. It means that we will have natural resources in the future for those that live in the city as well as out in the country. So it's not all one-sided where it's just people wanting to hunt, fish, or enjoy the outdoors. Even if you never leave them all, you're still dependent on these natural resources for our survival.
We spent our childhood fishing, and so that was our source of recreation. And during that time, the river was very healthy. We'd make float trips. But there was an instance probably about 25 years ago that got to see the effects of what can happen to the creeks and the streams and the waterways. There was two spills. One was down towards the mouth of the Shenandoah in Rockingham County, overflow of sludge, and then a tractor trailer wrecked on 81 down near Newmarket, and there was a major gas spill. And what we experienced was, even though we're 30 miles downstream, the following spring, the river was basically sick. We started noticing legions on the fish. They weren't healthy. We always went wading and fishing, and on our first spring trip, once it warmed up to fish, every single one of us got sick. And we were able to track it back to what had happened to spill upstream.
Well, I think once people like myself and others want to protect their land, this is a total voluntary thing. No one's in there pushing you or writing you letters every month, you know, saying, we really need you to do this. It's voluntary.
There's people are thinking, well, is it going to be a park? Can people just come onto our property? You know, what am I opening myself up to? And really nothing. None of that changes. You hold title to it. All you're doing is relinquishing the developmental rights. But you pass it on to your children, or you can sell it. But when you sell it, it's not going to go to a developer. It's going to remain preserved for all future.
Well, I think what you realize is that you're not giving up your land. In fact, you're saving it. You're in fact keeping it, in my sense, instead of giving it up. So you kind of think of things as, you think of easements as something you give up, but actually I see this as preserving this land for the future.